Hey guys, before I get into this, I just want to make a quick statement. You know, we put most of our research videos up on this channel simply because it's enabled for videos beyond 15 minutes. Uh, this does not reflect the research group, Truth Seekers Research Network. This is something that kind of dawned on me today. Um, I've been paying very close attention and been trying to get a little nuclear survey network set up with just regular citizens across the country in some key areas. But um, this has been a big concern of mine, and God forbid anything was to happen to the Fukushima site over there and this goes super critical. Well, I've just been pondering ideas, thinking about the technologies that we are currently aware of. What could human, what could mankind possibly do to limit the damage of a full Fukushima meltdown? Um, and two things occurred to me. Number one was HAARP. Um, I know a lot of you have probably followed HAARP, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories about it. But we do know what it is capable of doing. Some of the other uses for it are questionable, but we do know that it can heat the ionosphere. It can inflate the ionosphere, make holes in the ionosphere, and then you have the chemtrail phenomenon, which I find to be maybe 70% factual and 30% conspiracy. Um, But it would seem to me that you could use a two-step process to possibly control the situation. Now, I'm hoping somebody that is a lot smarter than I am might pick up on this. This may not work at all. This may be very dangerous to even attempt, or it may be plausible. I don't know. It's just an idea that I had. Um, let's say the unthinkable were to happen, and this is just kind of showing what a total meltdown would do and how it would progress. Well, we know that HAARP can manipulate weather systems. It can create areas of high and low pressure. It can heat the ionosphere, cause the ionosphere to inflate. And we know that there's more than one HAARP station. It's not just the one in Alaska. To my knowledge, there's one in Siberia, and in fact, there are many HAARP stations owned by many governments across the globe. So for a two-step contingency plan, and now this is a big what if. I don't even know if it can be done. It's just an idea. If the worst was to happen and nuclear particles started drifting along the jet stream across the Pacific, could you take several HAARP stations working together to round up and corral the radioactive material out here in the Pacific? Could you create high and low pressure systems using multiple HAARP stations to somewhat contain it and round it up? That's what I mean by corral. Just like you'd herd up cattle. The second step, it would seem to me that you could use the militaries of the world and intensely chemtrail the area, perhaps with some substances that have a radiation absorbing effect, maybe iodine, barium, I'm not sure of, there may be a list or a host of things that could be sprayed as a first step to try to neutralize whatever you can with aerosols. And then while you still have that concentrated,
something called Manicam.
while you have that corralled, could you then concentrate the HAARP stations of the world over a centralized area after you've concentrated all the nuclear fallout into one specific area over the Pacific? Could you use several HAARP stations in conjunction to focus their energies on the same place in the Pacific? Here's a picture of a supposed HAARP ring. Now imagine this phenomenon being produced by several HAARP stations all at the same time working in unison. Could you inflate the ionosphere enough to create an extreme low pressure directly over the concentrated radioactive plume, and, as these pictures kind of suggest, could you force it up into the ionosphere? And once you have done that, once you have used this from all areas of the world to focus in the same location, monitor the progress with every available satellite and technology that we have in orbit. Say you run into a situation like this. Well, going back to the idea of corralling it, set up high and low pressure systems so that this is more concentrated into a central location over the Pacific. Then use HAARP. Use several HAARP stations. Create an extremely low pressure system that inflates the ionosphere the way we have never done before. Now, I realize this would be very dangerous and could upset the climate, but I think I could accept upsetting the climate for a while versus a total eradication of the northern hemisphere. And my thoughts are that perhaps if that could be accomplished, you could trap the radioactive material between the thermosphere and the ionosphere. And then perhaps with solar activity, the sun could degrade those particles, blow them off into space. I'm not sure. I don't know how that would play out. Like I said, this is just an idea that hit me, and taking these supposed weapons of destruction, using them for a greater purpose, should the unthinkable happen. What negative effects could there be from trying this? Is it even feasible? I don't know. But I'm hoping this maybe falls on the ears of some other people who may be in the know, that know a lot more about this and the positive and negative effects, and if this might be a two-step method to limit the damage from a full-scale meltdown in Fukushima. If anybody knows anybody that I might be able to pass this idea on to, people higher up, or people who may know what the consequences or the feasibility of such a operation might be. I'm just thinking of any way that we can use existing technologies to prevent the unthinkable should the Fukushima reactors go supercritical. Anyway, that's enough of my rant for right now. I just wanted to get this idea out of my head and just bounce it off the public and see what you guys think. Thanks for watching.